FAA Remote ID. It might cost more than you think. Got that coming up next. Hey everyone, Bill from BillTheDroneReviewer, where I make drone and drone-related videos. If you're new here, welcome, and consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, Marcus Crawford, Ron Braun, Lauren Donauer, and I hosted Rotor Talk Live. One of the subjects that we discussed that night was the cost of FAA Remote ID. This was from an article by DJI revealing that it costs a lot more than what the FAA stated. We'll take a look at that. We'll also take a look regarding our comments for the FAA Remote ID proposal and share our overall thoughts. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. Now, I think Marcus mentioned yesterday was the cutoff for comments for Remote ID. They had over 50,000. Tremendous response. I mean, from when I entered mine on Saturday, it had 30,000. So it almost doubled, which was fantastic. So people got out there, people got comments out there. But what I want to talk about tonight is not that so much as I'm going to put something up on the screen here. And let me go ahead and get this up here. Now, DJI actually, just to let you know, their comment, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said it was 89 pages, their comment. Yeah, it was rather lengthy. Anyway, okay. Analysis puts Remote ID for drone costs 9 times higher than FAA estimate. DJI urges FAA to reconsider. Now, I'm going to go down to, this is a great article, and I will drop a link to it in the description. He concluded that the monthly average cost of Remote ID network for a service user would be $9.83 rather than the FAA's $2.50 estimate. And the total cost over 10 years would be $5.6 billion with a B instead of the FAA's $582 million estimate. Okay. One of the things with this that I think is really interesting is, and I think I said it all along, what the FAA proposed was just something. It was a lobbyist putting it down on paper. It was never really truly architectured out, so to speak. It was never, a prototype was never built for it. I actually included that in my comments. So, it's nothing that had ever been actually proven to even work, let alone, be effective. And here, look at the cost. And I think that was a very good thing that DJI did. I want to go around and get your thoughts on that. Ron, what do you think about that?
Well, those numbers, were eye-opening today that the cost would be that so high. And, we were upset even when we thought it was only going to cost us a few dollars per month as users. So if that number is not basically taken care of through, making the corporations that are planning on doing deliveries that eat a lot of this up, it's going to make a lot of costs on the end user. And, why is it all in the drone user? Why, since this is kind of a public thing, why is it this going in the tax base overall, not, just in the, for drone users? I mean, other things that I don't use, I have to pay taxes for. So why does all fall on the drone user, especially the hobbyists? So, this is very upsetting news. And again, we're taking these numbers as truth here. I mean, I can't even assume these new numbers are unless they've been validated by some other sources. I can't take them as fact yet, but it's certainly an eye opener. Marcus, did you take a look at these numbers?
Well, just very briefly, but we all kind of knew that in our gut, right? The kind of tracking that they're talking about, and $10 a month sounded kind of cheap. So it is going to, just think of the infrastructure it's going to take to accomplish what they suggested. So it kind of makes sense. And I guess on one hand, it probably makes it where it's not viable, and hopefully will force the FAA's hand and have them change their plan in some way that's far more reasonable for everybody. One of my biggest concerns I've got, well, I think all of us on the panel here own multiple drones. So if you had to then buy a subscription for each one of those drones, it definitely could get cost prohibitive and would thereby inhibit the hobby in general. So yeah, I mean, let's hope that things calm down just a little bit.
Hey, I've only got one drone, really, honest, swear to God.
But access to plenty.
Yeah, we won't ask you how many you have access to, Lauren. Well, and just my thoughts on this as well. I think, like I said, they went ahead and they put this proposal together, and I think we talked. The four of us have talked and discussed this, and it's been like, it was like a lobbyist put it down on paper, and it was never really truly planned out. It was just something that sounded good. It looked like it could work. Let's just throw it up in the air and see if it sticks, kind of a thing. And that's the wrong approach to this. But I think the response will be overall. I looked out there for some of them. Some of them were like crass and rude and whatever. But there were quite a few out there that were really honed in on and were on point. I know Marcus shared his with me, and his was fantastic. I kept mine about the same length. I got what I wanted to say across in this, and I think a lot of us did. And I think the FAA is going to stand up and take notice on this. I don't think we're going to see them just roll it out as is. It's just it's too faulty. There's too many things that are wrong with it. And then and someone brought this up, and I'm just going to throw this out there as the last point that I wanted to make about it, and see if you guys have anything to do with it. It may not even be constitutional because of the privacy concerns. Okay. Because divulging personal information about us, our drones and our location, that's privacy. And I know there's a lot of laws about that. So, and I'm not a legal expert by any stretch of the imagination. So, stay tuned for that. But I'm very hopeful because we really came up and we responded. Now, not only did we respond, but the aircraft modelers responded as well too. So, let's keep them in mind, because you know what? I'm eventually going to get a plane, and I do want to fly it at a field and not have to worry about having to time it because of drones and so forth. Okay. I want to be able to just go fly a plane there. Okay. I have an interest in it. I've always had it. And that's something that I would like to capitalize on. All right.
But Bill, were you at DC this weekend at the protest for the what was the protest called? What was it? They had like a title for it. They had like a tagline for the whole protest. What I'm referring to is a lot of drone pilots and we'll say, I don't know if the hobby airplane pilots, anybody that flies remote type vehicles. They had a protest outside the FAA building in DC area, a peaceful protest where they just wanted our stand to be known on this issue. So I know Ken Herron was there supporting them, so it was a good thing. And Bill speaks so well of this. I think Bill should enter the race on Super Tuesday and run as the presidential candidate in the U.S. And he could run on the on the remote ID ticket or the non-remote ID ticket, whatever. I think he could garner a lot of votes. He may even, hey, California hasn't closed the polls yet. You could jump in real quick and take California and get a lot of delegates.
Well, here's my platform. I think Hubert Hoover was a president that said a chicken in every pot. I'm gonna have a Zino 2 on every desk. Okay, a Zino 2.
How could you do with that platform?
Hubsan, and then I'd have the support of the Chinese. We wouldn't have the Russians meddling. We'd have the Chinese meddling this time, and they'd see to it that I'd get elected. So.
Right. And what you could say, Bill, is the tariffs stay in place except drone tariffs are eliminated.
That's right. And Ron and Marcus will be president of ZinoNation for life in my administration. Okay.
And also co-presidents of the FAA for life.
That's right. For life. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna abolish elections after I get in. All right. It's gonna be for life.
Drone
okay.
ID.
Okay.
Drone ID 69 brings up a good point, and I think everybody probably agrees with it. Is nobody is really against the remote ID, but just not in the fashion that they're proposing it.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody that's in the industry acknowledges that there is the need for it. But what the thing that everybody needs to kind of fight against, as Bill said, is the privacy issue, number one, and cost, number two. I'm just envision this whole thing is a large part of this is to allow the commercial market to get in. And if the commercial market is going to come in, they should be paying a very large part of this cost too, for an industry where you've got thousands and thousands of people that are already in it and have been having no issues so far. But we have to move forward. But let's move forward with a little bit of common sense. And basically taxing people to death, which is essentially what this ends up doing, does not make any sense.
Question of the day. What do you think of the real cost of the FAA Remote ID proposal? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.